Hello, welcome to another episode of Game Juice Podcast. I'm Bren,
I am Spidey.
and today we got some big news. Big news on the console front, which Spidey knows nothing about yet, and he is going to think it's hilarious, probably. Anyway, first things first, Halo. Let me
Yes.
show us a clip we're going to react to from a Halo Pro, one of the best to ever do it on the COD front and Halo front. Let's see what he thinks about it. You see it?
Yep.
Oh, it looks like Shop Prime might win that one, actually. Yo, Zurin, thank you for the Q1 for 9, bro. My
Yes.
last year playing Halo, bro. I think it's all of our last year playing Halo, bro. I feel like Halo's gonna die after this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
That's what he says. Just to add insult to
Guess
injury.
we'll see. I think Halo's dead after this year.
Quite the
Which honestly would be fine with me, bro.
You hear that?
yeah.
Why do I think that?
What do you say at the end?
It'll be fine with me, bro. And I mean, I get what he's. Wow, that was all we needed to see. Yeah, I get what he's. I kind of get where he's coming from, because like how long it's been. I mean, that's been our topic for like 3 years of the show, like 3 years, and most of it's been negative. We had like a couple positive things to say for like one episode, and then slowly it just started going downhill and downhill.
Well, just because I said the multiplayer is fun. It's always been fun.
Yes, the multiplayer is fun.
But it's like, who cares if the multiplayer is fun?
Yes,
Like, I mean, I care, but that's not enough to keep people not mad.
no.
So, there was other news. What was the thing you were telling me about Halo?
Final season. This actually coincides with it perfectly. Final season.
That's why I brought the clip.
So, I want to give a little eulogy to Halo here. Just a little eulogy.
Wait. Keep talking.
Because it's been my childhood series. I've always loved it. It's always given me some good times, given both of us good times.
Some of the best.
Some of the best times I've had with gaming.
Eulogy.
So
Gotta get the vibe right.
I got my water.
Keep going.
And so Joe Staten came in, he tried to fix it. Then he left because he was like, this is a sinking ship. And I guarantee that's what this was. But Halo, you gave me some good times. You were a great game. You had a legendary story, pun intended. There was a very fun multiplayer. You had Infection. You had, the first like trilogy of Halo plus Reach and ODST. Those were perfect games. Bungie's era was just an era, and I even say that about Reach, despite my criticisms. So they actually cared. I'm gonna put some emotional music in the background. So I'm sorry that you had to be in the hands of something terrible. You should have ended after 3. Master Chief should have ended sleeping in that pod with everyone thinking he was dead. And the planet reveal with the other planet in the background should have never happened. So, thank you 343. We've officially buried Halo. The only thing that's going to get me back here is spin-offs. So goodbye.
I just said it better myself.
Yep.
Beautiful send-off.
Sad.
Finally dead. You can suck a fat one, 343.
Yes,
you really can.
You
really
actually
can.
killed you. This time you actually killed it. We're not joking.
This time you actually killed it. We're not making jokes. We're not being overdramatic. You killed it.
Yes, you
I
did.
don't mean it in a good way. You said, we're going to support this thing for 10 years. Couldn't even make it a freaking 2 years, you idiots. And every season we got was basically mini updates anyway. So I don't know why you're telling us, oh, we're going to go to smaller updates. We've had small updates the whole time, you moron.
And they're like,
so it's nothing new.
We're going to make a new game in Unreal Engine. It's like, dude, you already have an engine. And it works.
So, wait, what? They're going to make a game in Unreal Engine?
Yes, they're going to try to make one. And that's
like
where...
a Halo game?
Yes, everyone is talking about how great it's going to be. I'm like...
Wait, it's a new... Like, it's...
Okay. It's being developed in the background, yes.
So they're making a new Halo title with Master Chief, like that, like a regular Halo title.
Yes, but in a different engine, not the one they actually made.
Who cares what engine it's in? Look at what they've done. Let it die.
I agree with you. That's the reason why I'm saying that is because they have an engine already.
I didn't know that was a thing.
They have an engine already that works.
I didn't know they were making another. They said they were making another game. I thought they were just saying they're going to make mini updates for Halo.
And they're still going to update Infinite, like trickle drop, small, like.
They've been doing it. It's small. Like cool. You've been doing so. You can't get any smaller.
Yes.
Whenever you're putting bonus match when you're putting match XP is one of your things you're adding in the update. You can't get any smaller of an update than we're getting.
Yeah, you basically ended the whole thing. It's over.
Here's match XP, which we should have had the whole time, and here's better playlist, which we should have had the whole
campaign
time.
replay.
Oh, and here's a pineapple grenade. Like no one cares.
Level replay for campaign. Canceling split screen.
Dude, it makes me want to. Dude, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that again because they're morons. They're gonna make a bad game.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm sorry, guys. They're gonna make a bad game unless you get the old team in. It's 3-4-3. It's gonna be bad. I'm sorry.
The ending. It's over. It's over.
Unless you toss over back to Bungie for free, getting worse.
Let's be honest. It's over. It's like there's never going to be another successful Halo game, and that's all I really wanted to say. It's done. It's over. And you know what? We're done talking about Infinite. We're done talking about. Yeah, because 343. We're done.
Pro, one of the best to ever do it, is saying it probably won't be here next year.
Yeah,
and he's okay with that. That's saying something. That's his paycheck we're talking about.
So. And he's an avid Halo player like us too. Either way,
he's pro. So literally a pro.
So both of us are not equally qualified, but I want to say rest in peace, Halo Infinite. Rest in peace, 343. We're done. Now, let's move on to the next
topic.
The actual important
Speaking of Xbox, Halo. Supposedly, there's some rumors going around about Xbox switching out, like not having titles just for Xbox anymore.
So they're getting.
We're talking like potentially on PlayStation too.
So Halo's gonna start
potentially being on PlayStation. And PC obviously. Those are rumors flying around. They said they have a big announcement to make at the end of this month, because I guess hardware sales, as in like people buying Xbox consoles, it's very down. Like nobody's buying Xbox consoles.
Well, Sony getting more of the market share, I'm assuming.
I don't know if Sony's doing amazing either. I don't know. I don't know. A big part of it is people think that Xbox is going to go full digital.
So all those
which discs, a lot of like boomers are mad about and when I say boomers, I mean people my age are mad about not having physical copies. It's like, I don't care about that. But there's a lot of people who do care about that.
I used to care, and then I'm like, well, I mean, we have platforms that are popular enough to sustain themselves.
Sorry, I'm gonna shut this off. My bad. Yeah, I'm listening.
So why are people really worried about their game fading away? It's like your game's not going to fade away. Someone is going to put that game on a pirating website so you can still play it again, even if the services you like go down.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand where this weird desire to have a physical version of it exists. It's going to be backed up online.
So let me ask you, since you were a person who liked that before, out of curiosity, what made you want to have that? I'm like, I sound like the kid who's like, if you would, what made you want physical copies?
What used to make me want a physical version was because, I was like, oh, what if the game fades away? But then I thought about it, what if the game is actually gone and no one can access it again? But then I thought about it logically, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait just a second. If this is a hallmark, like let's say Halo is a hallmark of, the computer, because it's been around on computer for years too.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about? They're always going to keep that a thing. Microsoft
loves
Halo. So, And even when it's not doing the best, you got cross-platform and stuff to keep it alive. Like, there's stuff to keep it alive. People don't understand. The mods keep it alive too. For the Master Chief Collection to be beating Halo Infinite in player population, like 6,000 something players, peaks like 10,000. I mean, that's better than frickin'. That's better than.
I'm saying like that's sad for Infinite.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and you're just talking about Steam.
Yes.
Like, who knows how many players are playing on like Xbox?
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
That's just Steam charts. Like, it's more populated than that for sure.
Yeah, people don't understand. People don't understand they're being over dramatic. On PC, it's always going to be populated. On console, it's always going to be populated. This is like Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2 is an iconic game. That game will never die. It's got higher player counts than most games out there.
Incredible game. I mean, it's a legendary game. That's why.
It is going to stay alive and stand the test of time. And I wish people would understand that's what Halo's turning into. It's just the modding scene is at an early stage. You know, people aren't necessarily at the stage where they're like super impressive enough to bring people in. So at some point it's gonna grow even bigger. I firmly think it will. People will see a market for it. And I feel like people need to stop being dramatic about it. It's like, dude, I've been dramatic about it too. Guess what? That accomplishes nothing. And pretty soon we're going to get Metal Gear Solid 4 for all the people that like that game where Snake and Ocelot just inject each other with steroids. So and it was stuck on PS3. So
yeah. So basically, I totally agree with you. I'm not worried about Halo. So okay, so you explain why you like a physical copy.
Yes.
It's like, it makes sense. And a lot of people, when I see people online, say that they like having physical ownership of it, so they like have it. So it's like they own it. When they buy it digitally, they feel like they don't, I guess, even though you do.
Yes, you do. You do own that.
So a couple realize it. So what I think this means, people were saying that eventually they think Sony's also going to be digital only, like no discs. Although I think they get a chunk of the Blu-ray, like the discs prices anyway. Like they get royalties on it, I think, because they're Sony. I mean,
Well, here's what's funny about the
Sony.
Here's something I'm gonna fight the physical copiers on. You still don't own that game because all the disc is a digital download now.
That's a good point. That's a really good
back in the day, I could see the argument because it's unpacking. You know, it's unpacking it and it's on the disc. You know, it's unpacking the game. But this is not. It's not like that anymore. So
I don't understand how you like having easy like access to everything humanly possible. How that's a bad.
No,
I personally have. I've liked digital the second it was a thing.
Especially
I'm like this when the first time I downloaded a game on the internet, I was like, "This is amazing," and I can't wait for everything to be like.
Especially with video games. With video games, it's like who freaking cares, man. This isn't. Yeah. It's not like I'm owning a movie and can use that movie and there's like 50 streaming services I have to go. I can download all those game apps for free and play all those game apps. Like people don't understand. This is not the same case. So
yeah. So with really that being said, people are thinking that potentially Xbox. I'm still a little confused on it because when people are talking about it, they're like. It's like I don't get all the info because they're like, you should know all this already. I'm like, I'm not following Xbox news and PlayStation news. Like, so they kind of like jump around like I should know this already. So I'm kind of piecing it together as I go, but it's like, seems like people think that Xbox is going to go digital. And they aren't going to have exclusives anymore. So there's not going to be any reason for people to buy it. People are saying there will be no reason for people to buy Xboxes because they aren't even buying them that much now.
Well, exclusives.
So they're expecting them to say, hey, we're not making another console. They think they're going to say we're done with consoles, like hardware, for Xbox. That's what they think people. I don't know that they'll say that. And that doesn't mean they're going to discontinue things right away. They're saying that like the console wars is over, and like they're not going to release another Xbox. Like, oh, Xbox Series whatever coming out. That's
okay. So this is interesting. This is interesting, actually. This is wow, wow. I thought Xbox
That's not
would
confirmed. That's what people are thinking.
I think people are being a little bit. If you want my opinion, I think people are being a bit
dramatic.
Yes, they do that all the time. Oh yeah, you know that guy Tom Scott, who said they said he was leaving. He's actually just taking a break. That's what he said.
Classic.
He didn't say any of that on his video. So you see what I'm saying? People just twist any bit of information to get a bit of clout.
Views, clicks, clout. Yeah, I see what you mean. So people, yeah, I think people are being over dramatic.
Oh, 100%.
I could maybe see them not making another Xbox. Here's the thing. They don't. What I'm saying is, I think what Microsoft. This is just my opinion. I think PC is going to be the future, which we've always said that PC is the future anyway. I think that we're closer to consoles being obsolete in the sense of we're not getting a bunch more.
Yeah.
Potentially not in my lifetime, but like sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Or maybe my lifetime.
Maybe.
No, that's a long time. I would say maybe like 10 years. I feel like we're close to it being like, okay, no more exclusives.
I could see one company holding on, and that's just Nintendo. Nintendo's probably the only thing.
Besides Nintendo, I'm saying for PlayStation. I'm specifically talking about, and I should have said this. I'm specifically talking about Sony, and Microsoft. PlayStation might be around longer just because if Xbox does all the stuff that people think they're gonna do, Sony's gonna be making bank for a while.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, no, Sony's gonna be sinking. Just
imagine be like, heck yeah, dude! Like, thank God.
They're gonna be riding the bank. No, Sony guaranteed. Honestly, now that you make me think about it, that's a guaranteed thing. Sony is gonna ride the bank regardless, dude. They're gonna ride the bank.
Here's what's interesting is we thought that they were buying up Bethesda, all this stuff, and I was thinking like, dude, Sony's doomed.
Yes.
Like they're gonna be having so many exclusives on Xbox. It's gonna be insane. But I think that they're trying to get a jump on PC before Sony gets there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
they're
trying to.
They're gonna be like, we're gonna not have exclusive for Xbox. We're gonna make everything available for PC.
Yeah. They started with Halo too, as well.
So they're gonna like jump the gun of like. They're kind of not shifting towards PC. Well, actually, yeah, kind of. I think that they're trying to get the head start on the PC market where the future is. Basically.
They're doing the slow shift, basically.
It's funny. I was thinking about that where I'm like, how am I so behind? Like, I get an Xbox. Now all this news comes out. I mean, I still love my Xbox, but...
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, dude. I have way better aim with this than I do with this. I've been playing on this thing, and I think this is a great controller. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. I aim better. I haven't used this in months. And I try it today for fun. I'm better with it immediately. Like, it's so annoying that it matters. Like, that my brain, maybe it's just like a mental block. I will say, I don't know if it's because I'm playing on PC, but this feels way more responsive as well.
I think.
Not way more, but like slightly more.
I think. Here's what I think. I agree. Honestly, you're making some compelling arguments. The possibility of that is a possibility. I think it is a possibility. I think that also means companies might stop throttling like parts for PCs. They might stop like optimizing games poorly for them too, because that is something that does happen.
What I'm saying is on a PC front, all of this is great news. Like, if you're a PC guy, this is all awesome. Like, you're like, okay, cool. Doesn't affect me at all.
No.
And guess what, dude? I've never stopped being a PC guy. I just got an Xbox because it annoys me. But
well, you don't.
I'm missing all this gaming library I have.
Yeah.
And I should have known this was going to happen. I'm missing my PC library. So it's like, okay, well, I can't do that on Xbox.
Yeah, you have this huge library. Huge!
And the thing is, you're like, okay, well, Xbox Game Pass. And then I'm like, okay, I know I'm flip-flopping like crazy, and my Xbox is great in the sense of if you're a guy who doesn't want to mess with the PC, as we've talked about a million times, Xbox console is the way to go. Now that I'm seeing how much things might be shifting towards PC in general,
things are getting...
I'm like, well, that makes sense. Now I miss my freaking PC, like games. I have so many games on PC. I have so many games on my PC that I'd be dead before I could beat them all.
Same here. Same here, dude. I got a whole backlog.
It's like... Yes, it's more annoying to make things run better, but it's like I just need to take care of stuff.
Yeah, same here. I actually cleaned mine out recently, so
like I got to restart mine. I just have to. I have to like full clear it out. But with that being said, and I can use whatever controller I want on my computer. I can use an Xbox controller. I can use a PlayStation controller. I can use whatever the crap I want.
Plus, you got an emulation backlog too.
You got emulation backlog. You got a giant Steam library. I got a giant Epic Games library. Dude, just name it. I can play it on here. Okay.
Yes, you basically have every game on the planet.
Now that Microsoft is announcing this stuff, I'm like, okay, so what is the reason to have an Xbox then?
You're like,
besides convenience. That's it. But there's convenience on both levels for both things. PC is very convenient on every level.
Because you can make it.
You want to get on Discord? Just pop open a program, run it in the background.
You want to make.
You want to play this game? Pop on. No issues at all.
And typically, when I have a problem with a program, I just uninstall it, reinstall it in 2 seconds. Yeah. Works perfectly.
I mean, yeah, it is. Is it like more prone to having issues that are really annoying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But that's honestly, I feel like that's because it can do so much.
Exactly. That's because there's a lot more to go wrong because of all that it can do.
Yeah.
So, am I like upset about an Xbox? Maybe a little bit. But
I don't blame you.
Does it run? Like, am I a little bit like, okay, like crap?
You know what this reminds me of? And this is a funny topic. This reminds me of when I bought Dreams, that PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why is this not on a PC? The second I got it, I was like, why did I buy this? There's no reason to buy this. This thing is stupid. Yeah. Like, there's literally no reason for this to even exist in this modern era. I could see it existing back then, back in
it probably would have been really popular.
Back then. Like back in the Roblox era and stuff, 2012.
So I was going to say the Xbox has Game Pass. Oh, yeah, also Dreams would have been amazing back then.
But not now.
It's too late. It was too late.
It was too... it was competing with modern systems, too, so...
Also, you should just put it on PC and had way more tools.
Oh, yeah.
But with Xbox Game Pass, it's like they're changing that apparently, and apparently something leaked on whatever the news is to what they're changing it to, which I don't know. But the thing about the Game Pass is you can just do it on PC, and it's the same thing. So it's like anything you get from Xbox, I basically should have thought a little bit more besides reacting on me being upset.
Yeah.
Before I got an Xbox. And the things I said about Xbox stand true about console.
Yes.
Way more optimized for games. Don't have to worry about it. You get on, you play. The thing I didn't realize is how much less settings you get.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I'm basically stuck on high-end graphics.
You're stuck on high-end, and you know why they're doing it? Because they want to really show off the graphical capabilities. That's their bragging point.
Fortnite has, on PC, infinite amounts of things I can change. But some people don't want that.
Yeah, no.
So, I bought Sonic Frontiers on it. I think I bought a lot of games. I bought quite a few games on it. I don't think that shifts over. Is that attached to my account? How does that work?
I think it is.
Like, could I use Xbox something on computer to like play Frontiers or no?
Yeah, I think you could. I think it would just let you pick up where you left off, because that would make no sense if you couldn't.
Because that's like, okay.
Especially
if I can do that, I might sell my Xbox. If I can do that.
Well, I think I need to restart my PC too and actually take care of it this time, because downloading random application 123 is going to make it run worse. That's just the truth. And overcrowding your C drive even a little bit. Like, you should never install many things on there.
I don't know. I haven't looked at mine in a long time.
That's probably what I'm gonna do after our podcast is clear the old girl out. I mean, I put a bunch of crap, like a bunch of pictures.
I put a bunch of videos. I was gonna do it whenever we were done talking, but
same here. I'm probably gonna give it an actual full reset, and then first I'll edit the video, publish it.
Or
just put it on my USB. I'll just put it on my USB, and then and then I can restart the computer because I just need to do it anyways. I mean, I cleaned the dang thing out of dust. You know, I used my compressed air can. I finally took care of it.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a long time.
My poor girl has been suffering from that.
I mean, I'm glad I got my capture card still because we could talk about that later. We can talk about that after the podcast. So that's my opinion. It's funny that I'm hearing all this and I'm like, dang, like my Xbox runs great, but it's like I don't care about it having good graphics. I just want it to run nice.
No.
I do like that it starts up. Everything starts up immediately. It's like boom, I'm in the game. Boom, I'm in the game. Boom, I'm in the game. But look, there's pluses and minuses to it. If you just want a system that games, that's fine. But I miss using this guy for starters.
Yeah, the DualShock, I'll agree with you. The DualShock 4, for when I used it, was pretty good, honestly. It was a pretty good.
And it's preference. I was so against Xbox controllers for a while. They run pretty great. Like I actually think it's a fantastic controller.
It is a fantastic controller.
I just aim better for some reason on these sticks than I do on those. I don't know why.
Well, you want me to be... I don't know if
it's because I use this for years. I use this for it's probably 7 years.
This is not the most popular Xbox controller, believe it or not. Xbox One, any variant, is not the most popular.
Because this is one for the S, like the Series S.
Now, you know what controller never broke down for me and never had trouble? The 360. The 360 controller, even though it was old, was a controller that was... And if you want me to be honest...
Oh, that looks weird.
It's actually better designed than this. It's not as bulky. It's not as bulky. This has
nice grip, though. I do like the grip.
Yes.
Like the grip on the newer controllers.
But
the triggers... Like, the triggers are just worse than PlayStation's. They react slower.
Sometimes and they're far up.
Sometimes... Oops. You there?
Yeah.
Oh. Sometimes I'll hit the trigger and it won't react.
Yeah.
Not often. But, sometimes it won't. Even on my Xbox. This reacts so much that I was, accidentally shooting bullets. I was like, oh, whoa, whoops.
That's not a fun...
But that's also on my PC as opposed to an X... I mean, maybe being on my Xbox, it's just a little more delayed as a whole. I don't know. But I don't really know how all that works. But, so apparently, the leak... There are Xbox plans that leaked today. They actually posted it on their Twitter early.
Yeah.
So this video is going to kind of explain to us...
why this stuff has come
what the leak is.
Like, what's happening.
I don't know what... This I haven't watched. I just found out there's more leaks. Today, so...
Dude, Maddie plays, dude! Maddie plays!
You know this guy?
Yeah!
I didn't know who this was. Is he good? Is he a good YouTuber?
He's all right. Sometimes he's a little interesting with his retrospectives on old games. He's a little biased. He's kind of the popular guy. He always picks the popular game in a series to be the one he likes. Which I'm not trying to be, oh, look at me, I'm so unique. I'm just saying it's very...
Biggest day in Xbox history.
It's very... He's very biased there.
This is a cool title here. I really like seeing that. Not interested. Thank you. Okay.
No, thank you. Let's get to the game.
Let's see what this guy says. Something leaked. I don't know what it is. What is this? We owe you the truth? What is... Okay.
Which remains uncertain. I'm not necessarily in that doom and gloom sort of era where I think Xbox is fully pulling out, but no doubt we're in for a world of change, and we're going to find out, hopefully early next week, what exactly is the haps with Xbox through a business update event, which Phil Spencer wrote about on his Twitter account, and it currently still stands.
We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for the next week, where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox.
The only official statement we have on the matter, and it'll likely be the case until we get that business update event, because rumors and speculation continue to circle this, some bringing more games into the mix that are going to come over to PlayStation and Switch, but also a little bit of walking back online. So we're going to talk about all of that today. Let's get it started with The Verge, who talks about what exactly is this event here? What is Xbox going to talk about? While it doesn't go fully into explicit details, we have a better idea. The article is titled, Microsoft to share details on bringing Xbox games to PlayStation next week.
So
that's interesting.
The surrender is starting to happen. The multi-platform surrender.
So why would they do that? Because they just don't care.
I don't think they
because they own all these own all these places now.
I think Microsoft always wanted a unified experience. I think they just kind of had that kind of look about them, a little bit.
So plus, they have PC anyway. So who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Like, they don't care. They're like, we don't care. We don't need a console. Sony, on the other hand, does.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They don't have any share in the PC market except a couple games put on Steam.
Yeah.
Games that will, and I love the first Spider-Man, the Spider-Man PS4 game, the first one. But that's not enough to keep you in the market, baby. You got to have some more hit titles than just that.
So Sony will probably always have a console when you think of it that way.
True, if they keep their exclusives, but who really? Yeah, we start to wonder. Yeah, this is very interesting, John. You got me.
That's what.
But before any of that, we got to talk about today's sponsor. The following video is brought to you by long-term partner of the channel, Brilliant. And around you let into fit performs well for now. Over the PlayStation 5 its annual premium subscription.
What
Microsoft is planning to share details about its plan to bring Hi-Fi Rush and other Xbox exclusives, which are not named as of this moment in time, to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch consoles, according to sources familiar with Microsoft's plans. Details of Microsoft's multi-platform plans have been gradually leaking, with The Verge revealing over the weekend that the upcoming Indiana Jones game is being considered for PS5. Now Microsoft is getting ready to outline the future of Xbox next week after a weekend of leaks and uncertainty for Xbox fans. We're told Microsoft was originally planning this business update for later this month, alongside an announcement of Hi-Fi Rush for PS5 and Nintendo Switch. After speculation around Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield, as well as other Xbox games coming to PS5 intensified over the weekend, Microsoft has responded with an announcement of a business update event for next week.
So Xbox baby raging console people.
Yes.
What's so it's like,
why is everything going everywhere?
Xbox was like, whoa, we got to do something. We got to talk about this sooner than we thought.
So this is a good way to prepare yourselves, because as I said in our previous video on this subject, Microsoft is not walking back on this. Maybe there are certain extremes that we are unaware of, like
knock out the competition in League of Legends new season with Mobalytics. Push the best
instead of going full-blown multi-platform. Maybe I'd say compromise between the two warring factions within Microsoft is like, okay, we'll do multi-plat, but it has to be exclusive on Xbox for at least some time to make the platform relevant. Even at that point, I think it's going to damage the brand a ton. And there's no walking that back. I also don't think,
dude.
I mean, bro,
isn't this like a console ending thing?
Yes, people don't understand that. People will say, dude, you're just an Xbox fan. I bought every dang console on the market, buddy. I own almost everything. I owned almost everything from the beginning of the generation of powerful consoles, powerful at the time. So what I'm saying is you got a point here, because for Microsoft, I mean, I feel like they were always, we both talked about this, they were always, notice something, a lot of time when we have predictions, a lot of times they end up coming true. Like in this one just makes sense because
you were saying PC gaming was the future, at least.
Yes.
In the US, 100%.
And I firmly think these people are going to stop. I think at some point they're going to stop throttling stuff. They're going to realize we can't keep, or not throttling GPUs, just stop optimizing stuff for this platform.
For the consoles.
Yes, you can't keep doing that.
Because I thought that was the selling point of like, yeah, people who don't want to mess with that get consoles. Because I'm like that. I'm like, well, I didn't want to mess with that anymore, so I got a console. Judging by hardware sales, people don't care.
No,
they rather have a PC.
Have you seen? I heard that. I was actually looking at a couple articles a couple months back about how PC gaming was growing. Like I looked up what is the most popular form of gaming in modern day. PC gaming has grown so much. It's not even crazy.
It can do everything.
Oh yeah, it can do everything.
So
100%.
Carry on. Glad I bought an Xbox.
I've been there,
walking
dude.
back the fact that your commitment is wavered, but
After
maybe
this video,
those are
I'll talk
things that have
about
changed,
the
but
more buyer's remorse from me. I'll tell you more
Right.
stories of.
brace yourselves that Xbox is not changing course so far from what we've been told, and that Xbox is going to be announcing their games going to PS5 and Switch, and what the idea.
Dude, I mean, at that point, that you're literally just ditching Xbox at that point. Because what's the point to make them if nobody's buying them and you don't have any exclusives?
Well, you know what's going to happen? They're going to turn into Sega. Sega first. Yeah.
That's exactly what people were saying. Somebody in the video said it's going to be another Sega.
And that's okay. I love Sega because they're the way they are.
That is okay. Except they have a PC too, so who cares? But second off, dude, they could have had so many exclusives on Xbox and they decided not to. So they're like, if they're after all these studios they bought, the fact that they're deciding to put them on all other platforms means they don't care about their console anymore.
No, they don't. And
that's what it means.
That's exactly what happened to Sega with their Dreamcast. Remember, the Dreamcast games started coming on GameCube. And then so Sonic Adventure 2 was on GameCube. And other games were there too. So they started realizing, okay, we got to our popular Sonic games are going off of our main platform. They even went to PlayStation with Sonic Heroes, believe it or not. PS2 before the leap happened. For PlayStation 2 games for Sonic, they actually started doing that. Believe it or not, there are PS2 Sonic games. Yeah.
So I think we might.
This is
in an era.
Yeah. I mean, once your console is going multi-platform, you are kind of admitting that.
Dude, think of all the stuff all the studios they bought up.
And
they could have all the best exclusive, all of them. They could be like, yep, they're all exclusives on Xbox.
And nope.
Which I think they saw that people were just doing it on PC anyway.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, why do we have a console and PC when we could just have PC?
Yes, and they're starting to they're also noticing Sony. They were looking at Sony. Sony, yes, for a moment they're going to be riding the bank. They're going to brag about physical copies guaranteed. They did that before. They were constantly bragging about it.
I think they're going to continue to do that because people do want Mutahar, some ordinary gamer. I watched his video talking about a lot of that stuff. He said he thinks he likes physical copies. He's like, dude, if I could pick to play this on PC, Xbox, or Sony, like Grand Theft Auto 6, I want to play it on PlayStation because I get a physical disc.
But
some people will buy consoles just like that console for a physical disc, which I don't personally understand. But
you know what's going to happen, dude? Mutahar has never been one to stay in a particular zone. For a while he'll go around saying Linux is superior or virtual machines are superior.
I'm not devote. He's like, if you are a grown man and you're fighting over which console's better and you're actually upset about things, he's like, you need to check yourself.
Well, you know what I think the new era of wars is? Operating system wars. I think that's the new war. I think Mac, I think Windows, and I think even Linux, the open source alternative, are going to start warring with each other and finding ways to become competitive.
True.
Because I would never use Linux personally. I don't give a crap about Linux, but I've heard all the people be like, "You don't use Linux? You're a simpleton. Look at you. Why aren't you using Linux? You should be using the superior platform. There's no issues on it." I'm like, do I want to sit there on a command prompt going, No, I don't want to sit down tooling on a freaking command prompt and then having to emulate Windows anyway just to play a video game.
Yeah.
People don't understand not every game works on Linux. Why? People seriously do not understand. I understand Muta. It's like, I love you, brother. I love you, but that's not... You got to understand, that's not how things work, dude. You have to...
Exactly.
You can't use Linux I'm not even trying to be a Linux hater. Linux is complicated. I've seen people who love Linux who are devout, who have been starting to switch to Windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the superior OS. It just is.
I don't necessarily disagree.
I
think you're probably right. Which is why, think about it, Mac's been trying to be more game-like.
Yes,
They're like
yes.
trying to go to the gamer audience now. I think that they have potential to be good for gamers. If their technology is absurd.
If Mac
their optimization is insane compared to Microsoft.
If Mac can have everything, then I would consider it. Like, if they can have every game playable, then I will be game for it.
Yeah. If they could be on, which Microsoft is not going to do that. There's no way. Anyway,
which they need to communicate crystal clear and get people an idea of why the Xbox brand has value. I think the most shocking thing, though, is when you learn.
I don't think
who is
sounds like they don't care if it has value.
Yes.
Tom Warren of The Verge, the article we just read, wrote on Reset Era. I just want to make it very clear that most folks in Xbox don't know the full details of what Microsoft will discuss next week. So people that are backtracking on certain stuff never really knew either. Note the wording there. People at Xbox don't know, and guess who's making the announcement? Microsoft. Not only does that speak to what we saw recently in the quarterly earnings reports, that Xbox generates the third most revenue within the company, and so they've surpassed Windows, meaning that Microsoft wants to be more hands-on with this thing and extract it for all the value it has.
Wait a second. So Xbox...
Bro, I've looked at some statistics. I think Maddie, I love Maddie. I love Maddie as much as the next guy, but Maddie is also a physical copy guy. That is why Maddie is like.
Wait, no. In one of his other videos I watched today, he was saying that even after they brought Diablo and Activision Blizzard and brought Diablo to Xbox and stuff like that, he said that only spiked their hardware sales by 3%. So maybe a lot of it's in like the Game Pass. PC and Xbox use it, maybe.
That's probably why. But we're still. What I'm saying is, you still have a point with what you're saying before, because that doesn't, like, this guy's sitting here. I understand why people like this stuff. It is because of physical copies. We're starting to hear people say that. The physical copy is what's keeping this stuff alive. But at some point, they're going multi-platform, like Sega. This is what he's avoiding.
I'm not saying what we're saying is wrong.
Yeah, he's avoiding the. I'm saying
he said that in his other video. He brought up Sega as well, where he's like, it's like Sega.
Yes, and what he doesn't like, what people don't realize, some people, and I'm not bashing Maddie. You know, I love the guy. He has an appreciation for nostalgia. He has an appreciation for old games, but it's like, bro. And you know what we'll do at the end of this too? We'll do a eulogy for Xbox. Break out the old candle. Because we gotta eulogize everything, man. We gotta eulogize everything.
I mean, we'll know obviously more next week when they talk about this. Which, man, we're gonna have a jam-packed.
Yeah, it's about respect, though. This is out of respect for me, because I love Xbox.
Me too.
I
had one now, and I think it runs great. I think it's great.
Yeah,
but all right,
but also that Microsoft is making the decision here, suggesting that internal schism that we had heard so much about is true, and that they are overruling. And again, as I'm going to say multiple times this video, I do not see Xbox pivoting away from this decision, because now we're seeing it's a Microsoft decision. The idea that it may be Satya Nadella or Tim Stewart making this announcement instead of Phil Spencer, who's like the face of Xbox, says all you need to know. And I could totally see a brand shift over time from Xbox to Microsoft gaming. Because one thing I noticed is that Phil Spencer has had the title of CEO of Microsoft
I love those visuals
a long while,
on this
right?
game.
But when you look at other people's titles, they're all beneath this Xbox banner. I could see, if Xbox is going to go more agnostic, if you will, that you're going to start to see Microsoft Game Pass on your TV, on your PlayStation, all that stuff. And maybe that'll make it a little bit easier to get it all over the place like they want to. If I were to throw out a guess here, we have a great episode of Defining Duke that's going to be out shortly, where it's myself and the Sacred Symbols guys alongside Lord Cognito, my co-host, and we're just talking about everything from top to bottom for 3 hours. And one thing that we did circle around to is that when you look at Game Pass as what I thought was this alternative revenue option that I think naturally Microsoft as a company wants to extract for as much value as possible. You have to think that perhaps if what Phil wrote in his internal memo when 2,000 layoffs hit the company, stating how they're looking for sustainable growth, and then you see here this new push potentially into multi-platform, it's possible that to sustain what Xbox is as a brand, which are these kind of fun, creative exclusives, in my opinion, alongside Game Pass, you do need to have Nintendo and PlayStation in the mix because they need their money and their sales, and people need to buy those.
I don't get what he's saying.
Those games. So that may be the reality of the situation. But it didn't just stop at the original rumors of Gears and Starfield and Indiana Jones. There was now an article here from Games Radar titled Amid Xbox Multi-Platform Rumors, Halo job listing says future games will be, quote, for all players on all platforms. The article writes, a recent job listing at Halo Infinite developer 343 via Twisted Voxel for a lead game systems designer is looking for a candidate to help define, prototype, validate, iterate, and evolve future Halo games. In that same listing, however, it's also noted that 343 wants someone to focus the systems design team on achieving a high-quality, cohesive experience for all players on all platforms. This brings me back to a
how they're still trying.
Now,
they're still trying. 343 is still trying.
Going beyond
still trying.
Xbox, going beyond traditional platforms. And I feel like that was the first hint of some sort of third-party exploration from a major Xbox IP. Now, Halo is even in its lowest state with Infinite and its original support, how that was a flop. It's in a great spot now. I recommend you check it out. But in its original state, Halo is still really important to the Xbox brand. To let that go, as I said, with Gears,
it is important.
The last time we talked about this, you may as well just throw the kitchen sink at this whole thing. You may as well give out every Xbox exclusive if you're going to do Halo.
Dude, I'll get to play Gears.
Rufus, please lay down, buddy.
There's some Gears games I never got to play.
Gears is such a good series.
Try to talk about Xbox. Don't look at me like that. I believe those comments came from an article in Bloomberg, but point being is that when you see all players and all platforms, I feel like you could look at this two ways objectively, right? The first is when you look at Halo right now, PC, Xbox, all platforms can just be applicable to what it currently is. I think amid the rumors, as the article
it feels like he's saying a lot of buzzwords.
Halo going out.
Not really.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it feels like he's saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah, he's not really saying
PlayStation, like Xbox's strategy, is changing, and that based off the data mines, example of just how messy the conversation of platforms can get, taking away from the. And when Danny Pena said that, as someone who's been with Xbox since day one, I'm just going to wait for an official statement. And Jez says, this would have been the smart thing to do. I think a lot of people will feel a bit silly in the coming weeks, suggesting, and Jez is ironclad, that is it not as bad as we think? The question is, why haven't we reported on all of this? Because I feel like if it circulates. So there was this.
To a handheld console as a PlayStation rumor circulate.
Ooh, Steam Deck comparisons will be wild.
Xbox games natively, which, hey, but losing Xbox, you remove someone who has over 2 decades of true experience.
Okay, so he is actually saying the point we said. The point we said is that he is actually reiterating what we kind of brought up, where he's like, oh, we're losing Xbox in a way. Oh no, Dreamcast
Xbox
guy.
Game Pass is... You know this guy too?
He's awful. He's one of the worst. He's one of the worst YouTubers out there.
Of course.
He's one of the most biased. He's a console war person. That's what he is. He's a Sony pony. That's what he is.
Yeah, before freaking out, I do agree with this, but we got to talk about it.
This guy is a massive Sony pony.
The name of it is Xbox Game Pass. Even when you're playing it on PC or playing it on your phone, it's still called Xbox Game Pass for PC or for cloud. This is the first time we're seeing Microsoft Game Pass. So these three words have people completely freaking out because it definitely conveys the end of the current Xbox brand. The fact that it's very obvious that they want to change it from, Xbox games to maybe Xbox Game Studios instead of Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass. Now, this tweet got deleted because everybody clearly was not supposed to talk about Microsoft Game Pass. And people are
So
understandably
that actually is.
I think people are upset. Now, I do want to briefly talk about the fact that some Xbox fanboys are going completely insane. People talking about
See,
how they haven't
he's not a
slept in
fan
days.
of.
I've seen pictures and videos of people smashing their Xboxes or claiming they're going to leave the internet. I think some of this stuff is obviously way too far, but I understand the frustration because, think about it. When you buy a console, whether it is the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch, you're betting on the future. You're basically saying, oh, this is going to be the spot where I game for the next 4, 5, or 10 years.
Okay.
And so you're kind of
This
hoping,
guy is so
is
old
Halo
school, it's
going to
not
be
even
great?
funny.
Is Hellblade
10 years?
going
Bro,
to be awesome?
yeah.
I was thinking I'd get like 4 years out of my Xbox.
Yeah, the 360,
Or on the other side of the
I
fence,
understand because that was during an era when that's all you had.
Zelda going to be good? Or
Yeah.
God of
Dude,
War
I agree.
Ragnarok
So,
thankfully turned out
like,
to be
what-
good. I understand people's frustrations because if you spend $500 on your system and it turns out that they just give up
True.
on it,
I agree.
if it just gets cooked, that's understandably going to piss you off. But I think it's interesting looking at a lot of the takes from the most diehard professional Xbox YouTubers. This is Destin Legary, who's
I've never
host
heard of this
one
guy
the
in my
biggest
life.
Xbox podcasts and does a lot of video content on YouTube talking about the nature of Xbox and Microsoft. He did a lot of coverage of the FTC investigations and stuff. And he basically said, I think they're going to call it Xbox Everywhere. This is going to be the new slogan.
Dude, so apparently even Sony's saying they want their games on Xbox.
Ah, dude, yes.
I mean, not on Xbox, on PC.
That's what you're. Yeah, because a couple of them already came there. You see, yes. So
Your safest bet right now, all I'm saying, your safest bet from here on out is PC. I don't think there's any. We always kind of knew that, and now they're basically saying like,
bring out the candle.
It's your safest bet.
Bring out the candle.
All right.
Okay, so I'm also gonna put put emotional music. Probably not, but it'd be funny to do.
You should. You should on both of these.
Because I'll even put mine up too. This was my childhood. This was all I knew. How did I live with this? I don't even know. I'm not even trying to be backhanded about it. How did I live with the original Xbox One and play that for 5 years and keep buying games for it in 2018? How was that a thing? But you gave me memories, Xbox. You made me a gamer. Like, you made me love video games. You had innovative ideas. You had Fable. You had Halo. You had freaking, and that's about it. And you had Gears. That's it. You didn't have that many exclusives, but they were fun to play. You had some good content. It does make me sad to see one of the greats going, but I understand, we discussed this before. What else are you going to do? I mean, this thing is great, but you restricting this thing and having no settings for it, if I were them, like I said, I would have made many settings changes you could do on it if you really wanted to keep it alive, but you can't do it. So, goodbye, Xbox. You were a fun console. I love you. I still love you. I would never buy you.
It's not going to go away. This is fun. This is all funny. Oh, sorry. I interrupted your monologue.
Yes. It's I do see you going away. I actually do see you going away. I don't necessarily see you going away in Snap. Maybe I'd say I agree with you. Maybe 10 years. We have 10 years left, but this is an early eulogy. So I'm going to give you an early eulogy. I mean, what else can we do for you?
Yeah, and all I know is I'm wishing I would have stuck with PC instead of going to Luckily, I didn't get rid of my PC, though, because if it wasn't for this podcast, I might have.
Yes. And when
I
I
wanted to make content in the future,
and then you would have had major buyers.
I would have been like, great. Now I have to buy. Yeah, I would have been like, now I have to buy freaking a computer again. Great.
Yeah, no, that's that would have been awful. That would have been terrible. But we got 6 minutes left, so we can do a little preamble. No, it's pretty interesting. Honestly, I'm curious as to what this will do. I'm kind of happy. I'm also sick of I'm sick of the console wars, dude. I'm sick of having platform stuck to platform. It's just lame. And I do believe Nintendo will be the last one holding on. But even they know, dude, even they know that if
Nintendo will not give up their IPs.
I guess the only reason I'm saying, or they may end up dead. I firmly believe at some point it's just going to happen.
I love Nintendo.
I'm saying I think they're going to go the way of Sega. They will. I firmly believe that the rest of the companies will.
Oh.
Not dead as a company. Their IPs will survive, but they can't keep doing it. They can't keep sitting here like you made the Switch and you had the people's interests. You had the people on your side. You had the people really sticking up for you, but then you made a crappy online service that doesn't work with emulated games. Then you started making games.
The Switch is still selling so many units.
It's still surviving, but that's just kind of the name.
It's thriving compared to, but it also has a niche. It's like handheld.
Yes.
And they have many IPs that only they have.
Okay. Had to do a cut. We got it is kind of funny, I'll be honest. We got 4 minutes left. We'll just do 4 minutes for this thing.
Basically, we'll know. I mean, next week's going to be a huge week. I don't know what day they're planning on doing their announcement stuff. But I have a feeling it's going to be a bombshell, and I can't wait to talk about it on the podcast.
It's going to be hilarious. You know what this is going to be? This is just like the E3 we talked about for Nintendo a couple years back when we started this. And that was kind of a sign. That, to me, was kind of a sign they were falling a bit. Because a lot of times when they do this presentation stuff, Nintendo never goes out with the big guns. Like, they typically don't until way later. So, yeah. What people don't understand is this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is something that's not that over. Deal, yeah. This is not that over dramatic. This is actually not. This is just realism. Okay.
I was curious what you.
Yes. Yeah. This is realism because when you sat down and told me about it, I was like, wait a minute, Sega. That's what I thought of. And when I thought of that, I was like, you're right. You're right, dude. So for me, it's bittersweet because I do have nostalgia for the Xbox. Like, it's not just something where I'm like, woo, I'm going to kill him. Part of me is really happy.
My first thought was bummed somewhat. But a lot of that's just first off, I bought one. That doesn't mean it's still going to be useful for, it's not like it's dead. I think I'll still get years of use.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm most bummed is because I want to use this.
And I'm smiling, but I am smiling because I'm like, you know what? I was waiting for this to happen for years, dude. I was an early adopter for this crap. I was playing my computer every day and night with I was playing PC games every day and night. I was playing Jedi Outcast. I was playing every game out there. I was playing Jedi Academy. I was playing KOTOR. I was playing Halo on PC on Halo 1. So people don't understand. I've been around since the beginning. Since really the dark ages of PC gaming, as people call it.
True.
And I always had a feeling, I was like, this just feels so much more natural because, one, I love keyboard and mouse. I grew up with keyboard and mouse. Two, I can play any controller I want, like you said. 3, settings I can change. Amazing. I can change settings anytime. And if I have a problem with it,
correct,
I just restart the thing. And guess what? Just don't install things on my C drive. Just don't install 50 things on my C drive. And the problem's taken care of.
You were doing that.
Dude, even when you get 100 gigs off the C drive, it should only be for OSs. Or you should have 2 SSDs. You should have 2 SSDs. That's just how it is. You shouldn't. And you should replace your SSD if it's loading slower. I just need to replace mine too. Mine is loading a little slower, and that's because of the SSD. Finally, my SSD is crapping out after 6
Forever.
years. Yes.
Even though you basically set it on fire. Anyway,
Yes.
God bless.
God bless.
Probably gonna have a big episode next week. So.
Yes. So I am going to post the audio version of this. So there may be a bit of a delay.
Gotcha.
People will be like, "Oh, dude, what's happening?" That is because I am restarting things and getting things a little more cleaned up, so I can run this a bit more efficiently and don't have 50 pictures on my thing.
Sounds like a plan. See you next week, boys.
See you next week, boys.